So this is all experimentation, and I wanted to find out, I need to find out how this technique works on different surfaces. It works very nicely on paper because it's so absorbent, but I want it on a canvas, or I want some evidence of it on a canvas. It would be lovely to sort of put it as a background and then build up an abstract from it using some of these beautiful, you know, textures. Again, it's going to take experimentation and trial and error. This bit here, using my sharp knife, this bit here, the sharp edge, this bit of fabric that I applied, I sealed it, and I sealed it with a diluted medium, a matte medium, in order so that it didn't fray, but I'm going to seal it with a bonding agent such as PVA bonding agent, like you would a wall, probably diluted. All I want is so that it doesn't fray. I do like the frayed edges, like so, but I want the choice so that I have it more defined, I think. And you can see, because of the sort of plastic finish, it has a tendency to pool on the edges, but that might have been the way I applied the paint as well. All this is interesting. I mean, it takes time to develop these processes. This, I love these. I think this is going to be really good fun. I mean, I had leftover colour there, dark blues, ochres and pinks, but I really like it. I mean, I think it's going to be really nice. So what I'm going to do is, I've got two little canvas boards, very inexpensive, and I'm going to apply the gesso. Now this is just bought absorbent gesso, and I know you can also make it by adding, I think it's just adding the whiting, the chalk to it. So I shall remove this so that I don't mess it up, because I do quite like that. I think there's quite a lot of possibilities in that. But I mean, I could just paint over it. So I have got, I've just got this, and it's cool. It just is a, yeah, semi-absorbent. So what I should do is one in semi-absorbent, and then I'll mix this with some more chalk and see if I can get it to be more absorbent. So I do this, and then I forget what I've done, don't I? So I am going to write on the back what's what, if I can find a pencil with actual lead in it. Here we go. So this is going to be the Lasco semi-absorbent, and the other one will be the one that I add a percentage of chalk to, and I will tell you what I do. I just haven't looked it up and found out what I'm going to do yet. Okay, so I'm just, once I've opened this, I'll just paint it on. Won't bore you with that. I can't open it. When you can't open it, you just gently tap the edges, and it'll help to break some of the bonds. I say that. Oh yes, I did it. There you go. Sorry for the racket. So this is the second one. This is this with chalk or whiting mixed with the gesso. No, I haven't mixed this with the absorbent gesso, because I wanted to see if I could make my own absorbent gesso for a start and see what it was like. So I've mixed probably just over a third to the gesso, third whiting to gesso, and I mixed the whiting first. I put it in a little dish and mixed it with just a little bit of water, enough to make it dissolve, because I find it can be a bit lumpy otherwise. You know, it does that sort of thing. And this is obviously thin, so I might give this a couple of coats. So put one on, maybe even sand it out, and then do another one, because it's so thin. It is covering nicely, but I'm going to have fun with this. I mean, really, I think what's going to happen as well, I want to do this, I was going to say really I want to do this on a big board, so I'm just going backwards and forwards to see if I can get some of the lines out, but I'll let that be. It should settle. So I've got a piece of canvas, old canvas that I took off a stretch canvas because I had to reuse it for something else. And I'm going to try it on there. And I'd really like to try different measurements of this and see how far you go. What I was going to say is, when you finish this technique, when you've done the picture on the board, you can put a medium on it, and that should stick it to the board, you know, be the adhesive quality, because in doing this, I suppose you're reducing the amount of binder that is in the gesso, both with the water and with the addition of the chalk. So what chalk I've used, because I had it, was just whiting, calcium carbonate ground to a fine powder. And it says 25% whiting, 25% rabbit skin glue and 50% water. Whew. That's interesting. In any case, because that's a lot of water. So we probably are okay with this in terms of it sticking, because the gesso itself is so viscous and so thick. In any case, we shall see. I've been making my gesso and trashing the kitchen. So there's my pigment, my white pigment. There's my whiting. That was the bowl that I had the whiting in so that I could sieve it into my mix. There's my mix there, and that is some saved for later on. That is rabbit size glue. So I'm making a traditional gesso. They use it with egg tempera. There's my bain-marie next to the broccoli. And there's my glue size with the whiting and the white pigment mixed in, titanium white pigment mixed in. And here are my boards so far. So this one we already had. That is actually a piece of canvas stretched over a marine ply board, and I'm gessoing that. So hopefully nobody wants tea this evening. Just getting ready to put the second coat of gesso on this board, but you have to wait, not until it's completely dry. I've been told you wait until the sheen is off it, and then put your next coat on. If you wait until they're completely dry, the two coats of gesso don't bond. Second coat of gesso going on, and you do it when it's still wet. Well, not wet. You do it once the gloss has gone, and you do it in the opposite direction. The opposite direction to what you've last done it. And I'm doing it all in the kitchen just before tea, much to everyone's delight. And you just gently layer it across, and the gesso is slightly warm. Make sure you get the edges, because it's very easy to miss the edges. And if you overpaint it, you mess it up as well, which I probably have done a bit there. But this is just experimental and getting in preparation for putting some fabric on it. Okay? So I've got ready 6 boards. Some of them are duplicates of the others. I just thought I'd give it a try just to see how consistent it was. And they are the absorbent gesso, the semi-absorbent gesso, and the traditional gessos that you make, which are water-based, and also a normal, just a canvas board, just to see the difference that each one makes to the process. And what I've done is I've used the same piece of fabric for each one of them. So this piece of fabric was dipped in the diluted PVA glue in order to size the fabric, just so that everything is consistent. And then I've cut out the pieces. I've mixed up colours. To mix the paint, I'm doing Australian blue because I've done the rest. and I'm afraid it wasn't in focus, so I'm sorry, at this point I should have it in focus. But I've just got some cerulean blue and some water there, and I am keeping the pigment pretty, I just want it dissolved, but I'm keeping it pretty intense. I haven't added that much water, but I want it to flow, don't I? I mean, if you were serious about all this, you would buy a much more soluble, called a flow acrylic, I think. Yeah, I mean, I've got a flow formula acrylic, which presumably would work better. This one is just a System 3 acrylic, and it's pretty thick and sits in its globules, which is partly why I would add a flow medium to it, just a little few drops, just to break up the pigment bonding, because it's made to be thick and to work as a sort of creamy consistency. In any case, that's how I would do these. And I really break it down. That paintbrush has been used, it's hard. I need a soft one just to break up the pieces. In any case, that's how I would mix it. So just a bit of water, because you need the pigment to be really intense in order to transfer through the fabric, because the fabric takes up so much of the pigment. I mean, look at it. It's really transferred onto the fabric, and the fabric itself, of course, can be used. Or you just leave, you know, fix it onto the canvas if you like the fabric itself. The next bit I'm doing, I've painted one of the canvases, and that's a bit out of focus, but I've put the 5 images of the other canvases that come up during the process. So, you know how I paint them. I just drop colour onto the fabric that I've already stuck onto the canvas. Well, it's not stuck, it is placed onto the canvas when it's wet. So I've got, for each one I'm going to do exactly the same. I've got a number of different colours here. I don't really want to move them, but it's blue, orange, green, rust brown, dark ochre, light ochre with lemon yellow, dark blue, and pink and red mixed together. And I want earthy colours. I probably need a bit of yellow in there actually. But for each one I am going to do the same thing. So I've got all the fabrics ready, and instead of spraying the piece with water, I'm just dropping the fabrics into water and then sitting them on to the canvas board. Okay, so I won't make you watch all that. So I'm going to do that 6 times till I have all 6 pieces done. Right, so I have my 6 pieces now. 1, 2, 3. That's got a bit of blue on it, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're all placed down. And I'm taking off the worst of the wetness, because I just really want the pigment on the actual fabrics at the moment, I think. But we shall see, because I'll probably end up spraying them as well, just when I get carried away. And that's it. Now I'm going to start applying the paint. And I'm not going to make you watch every single one, because that would be boring. Oops, where did that come from? Okay, so I'm just going to apply the paint and let it do its thing, and hope that it transfers nicely. And as you all know by now, I'm a little bit messy, but that of course ends up being my style. So I love this colour. And then if I want it to diffuse more, I spray it. And you can use a pipette to put this on, so you don't even have the brush strokes. I'm trying to keep, different brushes for different things. The different colours aren't corrupted by each other with the brush all the time. And I'm just hoping that it transfers nicely. And I love earthy colours, so I'm sticking to these colours, and I'll put little accents of other colours in. Gosh. Buxton's hectic today, and if I don't want a mark on the thing, you can take it out. Should have mixed a light blue as well. It's not easy to sort of be confident about the colours because you just don't know how it's going to, transfer. Okay, so I'll do that 6 times and see what happens. In this area where the pigment's really strong, I want a bit more of that on just up here. I think that's too boring. So down round here. I'm going to have to watch these so that it doesn't dry onto it, because I know the boards are very absorbent. Some of them are very absorbent. And you can wipe off the pigment you don't want, or you can just leave it on, because it will enhance it all. I do actually want some dark blue in there as well. Right, so I'll do 6, and I'll show you all the 6 when they're finished. Right, and now to take the actual fabrics off. So this one is just as purchased, and it has really dried onto there. So that was overnight, but it is nice, and it does peel off, and it does leave lovely marks. And the blue with the orange has gone very black, but look, that's really nice. One. Right, this one is with absorbent ground. So this was actually with it's almost like a watercolour ground, so it will have to be fixed with a medium afterwards. And I mean, really, it isn't that much better than than this one. So maybe I'm fussing. Maybe I don't need to worry so much about it. And that it will transfer. One can get it to transfer onto canvases nicely. I mean, that's almost better. So this one is traditional gesso. This was just, I gessoed the board with extra gesso, and that's where it's not touched down enough. Actually, it seems to have actually taken off some of the gesso that I'd applied. Yeah, see? But I mean, I still like it. It still has that strange mark making that it does. So this one is calcium carbonate added to ordinary gesso. So it was, and it seems to take off. No, it doesn't. It hasn't on that one. I mean, I think the thing I'm finding is the gesso that their boards come in is probably the best. Loads of lovely stuff to deal with afterwards. Well, these will be interesting. This is the traditional gesso. So this is the one I made in the kitchen. Oh, And of course this is what I thought might happen with this, is that it's so soluble because it's made with a soluble size, the rabbit skin size, which is soluble. It's still hydro, you know, takes up water. But you see, look, it isn't that amazing, is it? It's almost better with the fabric left on. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's the intensity of the pigment makes a massive difference, doesn't it? Those were very intense. And I mean, I still absolutely love the funny, strange mark making. So that is not a stable gesso. It's not pliable like a acrylic gesso would be. So you can only do it on something that's solid, like a prepared wooden surface, or a canvas board that's very strong. And this is the same. That's the same. Ugh. No, that's the calcium carbonate again. It's the calcium carbonate with acrylic gesso, because I did 2 of them. And again, you see, it's how the whole thing is applied, isn't it? It's the sort of chance of it. So that one is the most intense, and that one was just as purchased. So, but I must have put more pigment in it and more orange. But I mean, again, all of them. In fact, this was the worst. This was the absorbent gesso. So this was one purchased as it's like for sort of watercolour onto boards, and it was expensive. And it doesn't really work for this system. And these 2 are the traditional gessos. No, that's not. These 2 are. And I would say out of the 6, the things that I thought was going to work really well have not worked so well. So I don't really think we need to worry about it. That was with traditional gesso, and that's really taken. Whether it's just the depth of the pigment, it would be interesting to see if I glaze this, you know, how intense the colours come out after that. Oh, that's calcium carbonate with gesso. Well, those 2 are the calcium carbonates with gessos. And they're not as good as this one, this was just directly onto the board. So maybe we can just do it on gesso, ordinary acrylic gesso on camp, which would be very convenient. I did 2 more, one on a semi-absorbent gesso, the Lasco stuff, but I lost that film, sorry. And it was similar to these, to tell you the truth. And this one that I showed you in the beginning is just on ordinary gesso, and it does work. Okay, I suppose we can say that with a bit more confidence, that we can just do it straight onto a gesso. So I'm quite looking forward to that. See what happens. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something from the video. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if the videos are helpful, a super thanks would be very greatly received. All the best from the Louise YouTube channel. Bye.